We are continuing with fundamentals of base erosion and profit shifting plan. The next action plan that we are discussing here is action plan number 5. Counter harmful tax practices. Counter harmful tax practices. Sir, how is it harmful? India in a recent year, after 2017 specifically, from Arun Jaitley sir's perspective, India has truly become, my dear friend, please you need to acknowledge this, India has become a low tax jurisdiction. Okay. India has become what? Low tax jurisdiction. Many companies are paying in India tax at the rate of hardly 4%. If you enter in Indian market through IFSC, you know the tax rate 4%. If you invest in government bonds, Indian rupee denominated bond, then tax rate is only 5%. If you earn royalty income from India, then tax rate is only 10%. Don't you think 4%, 5%, 10% is the lowest possible tax rate that you can have in country like India? And because of that, you need to appreciate that India has actually become low tax jurisdiction. Now, what these foreigners are doing? Okay, so this is India and Indian tax rates are very low, low as 10%. So they do research in their own country. Please understand, in their country for them tax rate is, say for example, 30%. Tax rate applicable in their own country for them is 30%. So they will conduct all the research here. Okay, all the R&D will happen in the foreign country, but patent they will register in India. Okay, and they will show that R&D has happened in India. Some R&D they will do, and they will register the IPR, intellectual property rights, in India. And whenever they are going to sell this particular patent to the global basis, they are going to make sales from India, and then they will show the revenue should be taxed in India. So why revenue should be taxed in India? Because India is having low possible tax rate. India is a low tax jurisdiction. So this is the abuse of India's taxation plans, Indian tax rates. So this is what this objective was not original objective for bringing the concessional tax rate. The objective behind bringing this concessional tax rates in India was to bring development in India, was to bring employment in India, was to bring foreign entities to set up their plant and machineries in India. So Indian GDP should have gone up, but they are doing everything in the foreign country, or majority activities are done in the foreign country. Only registration activities was done in India. So this was again a abuse of Indian tax laws. To control this, they say this is very harmful practice. This is not advisable. So we have to attack on this particular practices. So OECD Action Plan 5 has recommended it. Action Plan 5 reports identifies factors for determining the potential harmful tax practices that results in low or no effective tax rate, lack of transparency, negotiable tax rate, etc. For instance, in case of R&D activities, the Nexus approach recommended by the OECD under the BEPS Action Plan. Nexus means relationship, whether it is actually done in India, okay, requires attribution and taxation of income arising from exploitation of intellectual properties in the jurisdiction where the substantial R&D activities are undertaken. Substantial. So they are saying your IPR should be registered in that country where you have done the substantial activities. Okay. Instead of jurisdiction of a legal ownership. Jurisdiction of legal ownership means earlier they were doing the substantial activities outside India. The legal ownership was registered in India. So now we are having a very good rule. You already know the provisions that has been inserted in 115 BBF, 115 BBF for royalty taxation. Okay. Provision incorporated in Indian income tax law. Section 115 BBF of Income Tax Act 1961. Tax on patent where total income of the eligible assessee. So we need to learn the definition of eligible assessee. Includes any income by way of royalty in respect of the patent developed and registered in India. Now there are two words, developed and registered in India. Then such royalty is taxable at a very concessional rate of 10% and applicable surcharge and cess. Okay, so this is what concession we have given. Earlier people were exploiting this particular provision. Now we have put the counter mechanism. Applicability of the concessional rate will happen under section 115 BBF only if assessee should be a person, a resident in India. It can be a foreign citizen, it can be a foreign company, but it should be resident in India. That means he should stay in India or effective management should be done through India. Who is the patentee? Secondly, very, very important, income must be from patent developed and registered in India. And the most important percentage, option of taxation under section 115 BBF to be exercised by the assessee on or before due date. So they have to exercise this, and to control this we have said the develop means minimum 75% of the activities should have been done in India. The invention should be one of the patent granted under Patent Act, and at least it can be more than this, at least 75% of the expenditure on such invention must be incurred in India. Very, very, very important from multiple choice question perspective. Minimum, see, sometimes for research you may do the research in outside India, foreign countries, but that can be 5%, 10%, 20%. Not more than 25%, because minimum 75% expenditure must be incurred into India if you want to take benefit of 115 BBF. So what if I don't comply with this condition? Then you will not get the royalty, your royalty will not be taxed at the rate of 10%, then it will be taxed as per normal income under IFOS. Obviously, when we are giving you 10% tax rate, there is no deduction available in the law. It is taxable on gross basis. Okay, thank you.